When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
Heard the rumor that Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston had an affair that ended his marriage? People that I respect, some that I even love, who may or may not watch this show.
When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates him and nobody likes them. Have you heard the rumor that Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston had an affair that ended his marriage? People that I respect, some that I even love who may or may not watch this show. Was Barack Obama's presidency the perfect illusion, hiding complexities the public was never meant to see? That's the question that's been setting the internet on fire, reigniting old whispers with new urgency. And no one lit the match quite like Katt Williams. In one of his now viral routines, Williams didn't just poke fun. He practically tore down the polished facade of America's first black president. While many praised Obama for his charisma and composure, Katt went off script. He called Obama a white, friendly black man, a curated product tailored to appeal to the mainstream palate, not the streets he supposedly came from. That was a comedy. That was a declaration. And if Katt's tone made people laugh, his message made them think. Was the Obama we saw just a symbol or something more manufactured? And that's the thing is, so the Bidens and the Obama hate each other because Michelle Obama is very good friends with Hunter Biden's ex-wife. So that's led to a significant problem where they don't like Hunter, and if you don't like Hunter, Joe doesn't like you. So I would not be surprised if Holmes is right on with this of like, oh well, why don't we do this? Like, oh man, you give us problems, maybe you can have a problem. Or, Pat didn't stop there. He hinted at deeper forces at play. Cultural engineering, if you will. Williams didn't pull punches when he implied that Obama's presidency, for all its inspirational moments, was less about change and more about compliance. And now, years later, those criticisms don't feel like tired punchlines anymore. They're starting to look like road signs. Because as America grapples with the social aftermath of the Obama era, one debate in particular has erupted like a volcano. The push for LGBTQ mentors in schools and what it really says about the priorities shaped under Obama's leadership have not been funded. They pay you to not talk about things they don't want you to talk about. They tell you that themselves. It's not a stretch to connect the dots. Critics have long accused Obama of pushing what they called a pro-homosexuality agenda. A loaded phrase for sure, but one that keeps resurfacing in conservative circles under his administration. And LGBTQ visibility skyrocketed from rainbow-lit White House photo ops to federal protections that, depending on who you ask, were either long overdue or ideologically extreme. Now flash forward to today's classrooms where the question isn't whether children should learn about diversity. It's whether they should be mentored by adults specifically chosen for their LGBTQ identity. Is this inclusion or indoctrination? Was this cultural momentum a natural shift or a deliberate recalibration engineered years ago? And then, like gasoline on an open flame, came the most infamous street interview of Joan Rivers' life. Just weeks before she underwent a routine throat procedure that spiraled into catastrophe, Rivers casually dropped what she claimed was an open secret. "We already have a homosexual president," she told a reporter without skipping a beat. "You know, Michelle is a transgender." The reaction, pandemonium. Some rolled their eyes, others clutched their pearls, but a silent minority leaned in. Rivers didn't stutter. She didn't hedge. And when the reporter pressed her to clarify, she doubled down with eerie calm. A transgender, we all know. What exactly did she mean by we all know? And more importantly, what made her so confident in saying it out loud? I mean, there's not to add insult to injury, but there's a Daily Mail report out today saying Kayla Harris's marriage may be on the rocks. Like, everybody's on the rocks. Again, I will say I love the Daily Mail, but the sourcing appeared weak. It was like people who know the couple, but like I don't know if it's any better than that. They're saying she's blaming him in part for her loss because he turned out to be such a hot mess liability. You buy it? Let's be clear, Joan Rivers was no stranger to controversy. She mocked everyone, offended just about every group at least once, and wore her bans from networks like badges of honor. But even for her, this was a different level. These weren't jokes about fashion faux pas or celebrity lip jobs. These were accusations that struck at the very heart of the Obama's public image. And less than 2 months later, she was gone. Not from illness, not from anything expected, from a routine medical procedure where, as later investigations revealed, her vitals dropped dramatically, her oxygen levels plummeted, and no one acted fast enough. Coincidence? That's one theory. The other theory is far darker. Internet detectives pounced. Conspiracy theorists called it an assassination via neglect. The argument that Rivers revealed something she wasn't supposed to say, and someone made sure she'd never say more. Fueling this theory was the fact that the procedure she underwent was reportedly unauthorized and the clinic involved admitted fault in the malpractice settlement with her daughter Melissa. Of course, the Obamas were never officially linked to her passing. Far from it. In fact, President Obama sent Melissa a handwritten condolence letter praising Rivers for her humor and intellect. But if the allegations were nonsense, why even acknowledge them with such public grace? To some, that was diplomacy. To others, it was damage control at all. But if it is true, it truly would be a political earthquake in Democrat circles. Never mind America. I don't remember a presidential divorce in modern history. And let's not forget Rivers wasn't the only one making noise. A resurface interview from Larry Sinclair, a convicted con man with a long paper trail of exaggerations, reignited claims of a late 1990s rendezvous involving Barack Obama, a substance that rhymes with Cain, and a not-so-platonic encounter. Sinclair says he met Obama in a bar, shared some illicit thrills, and ended up in a hotel room. Is he credible? Not in a courtroom. But the timing of his reemergence couldn't be more suspect. Tucker Carlson gave him airtime. Online threads exploded. And suddenly people began to remember Rivers' words with fresh ears. Whether you believe these claims or not, one thing is undeniable. The smoke hasn't cleared, and that's exactly what keeps the fire alive. Because now we're not just talking about who Obama was. We're talking about what kind of cultural legacy he left behind. The LGBTQ mentorship debate, for example, didn't just appear out of nowhere. It's been building for over a decade. Was this the hope and change we signed up for? Or was it the fine print no one read? I got to spend a minute on the Obamas because there seems to be some momentum picking up in the rumor mill about their marriage. All right, I'm going to bring you what I know. And then came the whispers, the kind that start in the comment sections and end up on talk radio. That Barack and Michelle aren't really a couple anymore. That they live separate lives. That Michelle skipped Trump's inauguration and Jimmy Carter's funeral because allegedly she just couldn't fake it anymore. But what happens when the rumor mill starts connecting all those dots? When Joan Rivers' final interview starts looking less like a punchline and more like a confession? When people start asking not if the Obamas are hiding something, but how deep that something goes? Because here's the real kicker. The internet's current obsession isn't just about Joan's accusations. It's about the eerie way she delivered them. She said it like it was obvious, like the public had just chosen not to see it. And when she was asked to explain, she didn't blink. It's okay, she said. It's not a bad thing. Then she walked away. No smirk, no wink, just a mic drop. Could Joan Rivers' untimely end coming mere weeks after her most explosive on-camera moment really be more than a tragic mishap? What exactly did she know that we don't? And what if her so-called joke wasn't a joke at all, but a warning buried beneath a punchline? So, the truth about Jen and Barack is that there is no truth. True. You know Barack Obama? I've met him once. I know Michelle more than him. What is there a truth about you and Michelle that we should know? It's that is not true. But things got stranger when we looked deeper into the circumstances of Joan Rivers' final hours. According to federal health officials, not only was the clinic where she underwent her procedure unprepared for complications, but they also bypassed protocol in ways that raised serious eyebrows. The anesthetic dosage she received higher than it should have been. Her vitals dropping for several minutes before anyone acted. And here's the kicker. Doctors reportedly began a procedure she hadn't even consented to in writing. We're talking about one of the most famous women in the country in a facility right in the heart of New York City. And somehow the medical staff missed all the red flags. How likely is it that a globally recognized figure just vanishes from life due to an avoidable mistake weeks after making controversial remarks about the most protected couple in American politics? Now, maybe we're just connecting dots that don't exist. But maybe we aren't. Because when a celebrity as loud, brash, and fearless as Joan Rivers suddenly goes silent, and under such murky circumstances, it's only natural to wonder, did her mouth cost her more than a career opportunity? And more importantly, what else was she planning to say? She'd already called Obama our first homosexual president.